What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of BWT. Um, Today, I know I haven't been able to recap any of the games of the World Series, just life happens. So today, we will run through the entire World Series, game by game, and then we're going to say goodbye to a beautiful season. Um, Before I get started, make sure you guys are liking this video. Make sure you guys are sharing this video, commenting on this video. Um, Hit that sub button. We're getting every day. We're getting closer to our goal. Make sure you are tuning in to the other shows on the network. We have FFC Fantasy Football with Combs. We have the Joe Jordan Show. We got CTC Carl Talking College, and we have Dave's Doghouse, and we also have the main show, The Refuse to Lose, with Dave, Tomo, and Joe. Um, Man, what a series. First of all, I want to give a shout out to both of these teams for even making it this far into the season. I can say myself, I did not see these two teams making the World Series. When the playoffs originally started, I had the Braves and the Orioles going against each other in the World Series. I had the Braves winning in six. Obviously, both teams didn't make it out of the first round. Orioles ended up getting swept by the Texas Rangers, and the Braves ended up losing to the Philadelphia Phillies. So that prediction was wrong. Um, and then I went with the Phillies, right, because of my boy Hoppa. Um, and then they got eliminated by the Diamondbacks, right? And then when this World Series matchup um, came up, I predicted the Rangers in six, right? And if you guys are in the baseball chat, also become a member. If you guys want to be in any of these chats, we give you the latest news in all sports, baseball, NFL, basketball, men's and women's, college basketball, men's and women's, college football, and a combat chat, which is a combination of boxing, UFC, and WWE. Um, in the baseball chat before this had even started the World Series, um, I chose the Rangers in six and Corey Seager to be the MVP. I just thought that with him having that World Series experience already winning an MVP, I thought that he was just going to be that guy that drove the Rangers over the top and ended up winning this series. And later on in the show, I'll let you know if I was correct or not. And shout out to Carl, man. He whenever guys were predicting when the brackets first came out, everybody said Braves. People had a couple guys say Phillies in the baseball chat. But Carl, he said, I'm going to go against the grain and choose the Rangers. And all season, he was rooting for the Diamondbacks. He loved the Cinderella story. So for him to predict these last two teams in the beginning of the playoffs, got to give credit to him for that. But yeah, man, let's just get into this game. Game one, uh, bottom of the first, RBI double by Evan Carter to go up 1-0. Adolis Garcia hits an RBI single to go up 2-0, and then Corbin Carroll hits a 2 RBI triple to make it 2-2. Marte got a fielder's choice to make it 3-2, bringing in Corbin Carroll, and then Mitch Garver walks with the bases loaded to go up to make the score 3-3. And Tommy Pham hits a home run solo shot to go up 4-3. And then in the top of the fifth, Ketel Marte comes up with an RBI double to make it 5-3. Corey Seager ties the game up in the bottom of the ninth. I believe it was with 2 outs against Paul Sewald. This guy has not let up any runs in the postseason until Game 1 of the World Series. He left a fastball up, and Corey Seager didn't miss it. He tied the game up 5-5. And then in the bottom of the 11th, Adolis Garcia walks it off with a solo home run to right field. The winning pitcher was Leclerc. He's 1-1 in the postseason to that point with a 3.65 ERA. And the loser was Castro for the Diamondbacks, 0-1 with a 7.2 ERA. Key takeaways from that game were the Rangers just not giving up after they went down. It was huge for them to be able to bounce back after giving up the lead. Eovaldi started this game, and he went 4 2/3 of an inning, giving up 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks, with a 3.52 ERA to that point. And Zach Gallen started the game for the Diamondbacks. He went 5 innings, giving up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 5 Ks with a 5.27 ERA to that point. I mean, it was a very, very great game. This was the most that Eovaldi was tagged around for runs in the postseason so far. He's been extremely dominant. He exited the game down 5-3, but with Corey Seager's home run, got him off the hook for the loss. So he owes him dinner. The Rangers win Game 1. On to Game 2. Top of the 4th, Gabriel Moreno hits a solo home run to make it 1-0. Gurriel Jr. hits an RBI single to make it 2-0. In the bottom of the 5th, Mitch Garver hits a solo home run to make it 2-1. And then in the top of the 7th, Evan Longoria hits an RBI single to make it 3-1. Corbin Carroll hits an RBI single as well to make it 4-1. And then in the top of the 8th, Ketel Marte hits a 2 RBI single to make it 6-1. Corbin Carroll again comes up with an RBI single to make it 7-1. And Emmanuel Rivera comes up in the top of the 9th with a 2 RBI single to make it 9-1, which was the final score. Winning pitcher for this game was Merrill Kelly. He went 7 innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 9 Ks. His ERA to that point was a 2.25. The losing pitcher was Jordan Montgomery. 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, no Ks, with a 2.9 ERA. Diamondbacks tie up the series going to Arizona with momentum, completely dominating the Rangers in Game 2. So we get to Game 3, and in the top of the 3rd, Marcus Semien hits an RBI single to make it 1-0. Seager hits a 2-run home run to make it 3-0. And then in the bottom of the 8th, the Diamondbacks get on the board with a Geraldo Perdomo RBI single to make it 3-1, which ends up being the final score. John Gray came in and got the win. He went 3 innings pitched, giving up 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. His ERA to that point in the series, in the postseason, was a 1.59, and Brandon Pfaadt was the losing pitcher with a giving up 4 hits in 5 1/3 inning, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. His ERA to that point was a 3.27. Rangers chip away, right? They got an early lead and continue to stay undefeated on the road in the postseason. At this point, they were 8-0. And then in Game 5, after going up 2-1 in the series, in Game 4, sorry, after going up 2-1 in the series, the Rangers come back for Game 4 in Arizona. Scoring gets started early in the top of the second with a wild pitch. Josh Young scores, and to go up 1-0. Marcus Semien hits a 2 RBI triple to go up 3-0, and Seager hits yet another home run. This one was a 2-run home run to go up 5-0. And then in the top of the third, Janikowski comes up with a 2 RBI double to make it 7-0. Marcus Semien hits a 3-run home run to make it 10-0. And then the Diamondbacks get on the board with a Gurriel Jr. sac fly to make it 10-1. And in the top of the eighth, Jonah Heim hits a solo home run to go up 11-1. In the bottom of the eighth, Tommy Pham comes up with a sac fly to make it 11-2. And then Gurriel Jr. hits a 3-run home run to make it 11-5. And then in the bottom of the ninth inning, Gabriel Moreno continues to stay red hot at the plate. He comes up with a 2-run single to make it 11-7, which ended up being the final score. Winning pitcher was Andrew Heaney for the Rangers, giving up 4 hits in 5 innings pitched, only allowing 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. ERA up to that point was a 4.09. And the losing pitcher was Mantiply for the Diamondbacks. He only was able to go 1 1/3 innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 K. His ERA to that point was a 4.7. Offense just continues to dominate for the Rangers in this series. I feel like they had a very good approach at the plate throughout the series, and it continued to show in this game, going up 10-0 in only the 3rd inning. The Diamondbacks bullpen did a good job of holding them to 10 runs until the top of the 8th inning. So they kept them scoreless for 4 or 5 innings. And they were able to keep the game close enough so that their offense can make it a little closer, right? Final score ended up being 11-7. Diamondbacks go down in the series 3-1. Rangers continue to stay undefeated on the road. They're 10-0 at this point. And then the Game 5, right? In the top of the 7th, Mitch Garver hits an RBI single to go up 1-0. Jonah Heim hits a 2 RBI single to go up 3-0. And then Marcus Semien comes up with a 2-run home run to make it 5-0. The winning pitcher was Nathan Eovaldi. He stays undefeated in the postseason, going 6 innings, only allowing 4 hits, no earned runs, 5 walks, 5 Ks. His ERA to that point was a 2.95. He was dancing in and out of trouble all night long. And it was mainly because of the walks, right? The command was a little off tonight, but he was able to make some tough pitches, execute, and get these Diamondbacks to go 0 of 9 with runners in scoring position, which is huge. Zach Gallen goes 6 1/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. His ERA to that point was a 4.54. Crazy part about this is that the Rangers were getting no hit through 6 innings, right? And then they come up in the 7th with an RBI single to bump him out the game. They ended up getting 3 straight hits to get that run, and then Ginkle came in for the Diamondbacks, got a ground ball to first base with a runner on first and third, and that guy Evan Carter tried to go home on the ground ball. Christian Walker threw it home. They got him into a pickle or a rundown, whatever you call it. Um, and then they were able to get the out, and Ginkle ended up getting out of that inning, not allowing a run. So he did what he had to do out of the bullpen, but I mean, it just wasn't enough, you know. The Rangers win the World Series in 5, right? I was 1 game off, but I got the winner right. The World Series win was the Rangers' first World Series in franchise history. Couple notes, right? The Rangers stayed undefeated throughout the postseason, 11-0, which I believe tied or set a record for most in postseason history. The Rangers had the most losses in Major League history with 102 within 2 seasons of winning the World Series. Just 2 years ago, they were a 102 loss team, and for them to go out after that one season, go get Corey Seager, go get Marcus Semien, have a bad season last season, and then go out and get DeGrom and a whole bunch of other pieces that they were able to acquire this season and in the off season. It was huge for them, right? They went and got Bruce Bochy, which is one of the all-time great managers in this game. This is his 4th World Series championship, 3 with the Giants and now 1 with the Texas Rangers. They asked him, "How did you feel about coming back?" Because he had retired from the game when Chris Young, I believe he's a part owner of the Rangers. Um, he said, when Chris called me, I was just sitting down in a recliner enjoying life, and he went and came back and ended up winning a World Series. His players said that he was a great manager to be able to manage this team because he never got too high and he never got too low. No matter the situation, he was always right in the middle, even killed. And that's huge, man. As a player, if you see your manager frustrated or anything like that, it might get you to play some type of way. You can play a little tense because you don't want to let them down anymore. Or if you're too high, you can play a little loose and maybe give up the lead or not finish the job. So Bruce Bochy, hats off to you. Congratulations on yet another World Series championship. Fun fact about this is Aroldis Chapman has been on 2 teams that have ended the 2 longest World Series droughts in MLB history. He was on the Cubs in 2016 when they won it. Their drought was 108 years, and the Rangers this year was 62 years without winning. So, and they both teams acquired him at the trade deadline. So I guess if you want to win a World Series, trade for Aroldis Chapman at the trade deadline because it pays off, especially if you're in a drought. Now there are only 5 teams without a World Series ring. The Padres, which were established in 1969, the Brewers, which were also established in 1969, the Mariners, established in 1977, The Rockies were established in 1993, and the Rays were established in 1998. Let me know which team you think will win a World Series first out of that group of five. Um, and of course, we cannot talk about the World Series without getting to the World Series MVP, Corey Seager, right? Like Dave called him in the Go Glove show that I did with him last episode. He's a smooth operator, man. Like I said, man. You have to be able to uh, play at a high level when the game gets tight, right? No better situation for him to step up than in the bottom of the ninth in game one. And then he just continued to hit home runs, right? 3 home runs in the postseason, 6 RBIs, and with an OPS of 1.137. He's the first player to win World Series MVP in the American League and in the National League. And he is the first shortstop in MLB history to have 3 home runs in a World Series. And he's also the second position player to win multiple World Series MVPs. The other is Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. Um, so I mean, Corey Seager, he's that dude, man. Watch out for guys who don't wear any jewelry, any sleeves, any wristbands, because those guys are just coming to the ballpark to ruin your day, right? They got one thing in mind, and that's winning that ball game, winning that series, winning that championship. No matter what it is, they're just here to win. And Corey Seager was able to be that guy, just be that guy this season, this World Series. He's battled through injuries. Last season, he was a little roughed up. In speaking of injuries, in Game 3, the Rangers had Adolis Garcia go out with an oblique injury, and Max Scherzer had to exit the game early with a tight back. So they were off of the postseason roster. Adolis Garcia was the ALCS MVP, and Scherzer, it was his second series. It was his third start of the postseason. Um, so for their offense to be able to execute the way that they did without the ALCS MVP, Corey Seager knowing that he was going to have to pick up the slack, right? Being that guy, and for him to go out there and do it, it's all credit to him, man. Some reporter today asked him after the game why the Dodgers let him go. I mean, that was 2 years ago. That's a dumb question. Um, who knows why they let him go? Why don't you go ask the Dodgers that question? You shouldn't ask that player who just won another World Series with another team why a team let him go. That was kind of dumb of that reporter. Um, but yeah, man. End of the World Series means the end of a baseball season, man. We had some great things happen this year. Um, of course, my Yankees did not make the postseason. I expect big changes this offseason within the roster, hopefully within management and upper management. Um, I don't know if everything is going to happen that I want to happen, but I'll get into that in later episodes. Again, I will be going through each team in MLB and giving you who they should sign, who they should re-sign, what they should do with their roster, depending on what they did this season and what's going to help them next year. Um, it's just it's a great day because I was right, but it's also a sad day because I can't watch any baseball. and that's just depressing, right? I love baseball. If you're watching this show, you probably have a relationship with the game. Um, and now we can only watch replays, right? I hope everybody had a great time watching this beautiful sport. Um, to the newcomers, thank you for reaching out with any questions that you had about the game. Um, it's definitely awesome to see people try to learn new things about new sports, especially in the chats, man. Again, man, if you guys are not members, you guys got to get into these chats, man. We give raw debates, we give um, roster updates, um, we give the latest news, everything you need to know about any team in any sport. We're dishing it out to you guys. The network is growing. Help us continue to grow by hitting that sub button. That's all I got for you guys today. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.